Hey everybody, Rory McDonald from MacDon and Associates, and I am jumping on today for the next episode of Tuesdays with Rory. And on this particular episode, we are titling it "Getting Your Home in Order." Now, you're probably thinking, okay, this is revolving around like the tidiness of my home when it comes to selling, or maybe it's the how I position furniture in the home when it comes to selling. But no, that is not what we are talking through today. When I talk about getting your home in order, what I'm referring to is the finances revolving around purchasing a home. What does it consist of? What do you need to focus on? And what do you need to potentially change in your budget and in your everyday life in order to be in a position to purchase a home? That's what we're going to be getting into. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right. So first things first, the very first thing that you guys need to do after you've sat down with your husband or your wife, you've talked through the idea of, hey, it's time for us to do this. We need more bedrooms. We want to get a bigger yard, for example. We need more house. We need to add a dining room. There's changes obviously that need to take place with you guys moving into a new home. Could be upsizing, could be downsizing, any of the reasons that I just listed, but you've nailed down, hey, a change needs to happen and a move needs to happen that puts us into a different home. Once that has happened, your next move is to first and foremost reach out to a loan officer. There are many throughout the United States, throughout Michigan. Many operate in multiple different states. And if you need a really good referral, I would be happy to send you to one. Just go ahead and reach out to us, and I would be happy to send it over to you guys. We're in Michigan here. If you're watching this online and maybe you're in a different state, if you are in a different state, feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to refer you to somebody who we know, love, and trust in some of those other states as well. When it comes to helping with this process and making sure your home is in order and you are prepared financially to purchase a home. So first process is go ahead and reach out to a loan officer. And in talking to that loan officer, the big thing that you need to be talking through is a lot of times when the loan officers are speaking to you for the very first time, they're not looking at what you are wanting to spend. They're just looking at what you're capable of spending. Now, some of you might be watching this and you might qualify, and this is just the reality, because 43% of your income is what is like the minimum, or excuse me, the maximum when it comes to debt to income ratio. So 43%, let's say you're somebody who makes $120,000 a year, give or take, that's $10,000 a month. This is all for the sake of round numbers. That means $4,300 per month is what you would qualify for in purchasing a home that would go towards the mortgage. Now, you're probably listening to that and going, that's an astronomically huge number. I wouldn't disagree with you. You probably want to have that lower than $4,300 a month. I agree. So when you go in to have that conversation with the loan officer, you're going to want to talk to them and say, hey, look, I don't want to be spending any more than $1,500 a month, or any more than 200,000 or 2,000 a month, or 25 or 3,000, whatever it might be that you're comfortable with when it comes to the purchase of a home. You're going to share that with your loan officer, and you're also going to share with them, hey, this is the amount of money that I have saved during this time as a means of putting down on a home. That might be as little as $1,000, and it might be as high as hundreds of thousands of dollars. It could be anywhere in between, but sharing that information with them helps them get a really good gauge on where you're at in terms of your debt, your debts, and where you're at with current liquid money in your account, as well as giving you an idea of what kind of purchasing power you have, because putting a little bit more money down or buying down a rate might actually put you in a position where you can buy a little bit more home than if you were not putting as much money down. So share that information with them, and really give them a good idea, and give them kind of the playbook, if that makes sense, when it comes to your next step coming out of that. So first step, reach out to a loan officer, have a conversation about what it is that you're able to purchase and what it is that you're comfortable with purchasing, more importantly, so that you're able to go out and then know, okay, what's the budget that we're working with when it comes to purchasing power. The next thing that you guys are going to want to do is look at your debts. Now, once you get pre-approved, a lot of times people will go, hey, now you're good to go out and start looking at houses. I try and take people through one more step when it comes to purchasing a home, and that is looking at their debts. Now, this isn't a means of trying to increase what it is that you're able to purchase. This is really as a means of just going, hey, look, like, you're comfortable with this payment, that's good, but let's look at this and look at this from a holistic approach. You have another X amount of dollars, let's say it's $500 that's being dedicated to a debt that you could pay off. This might actually make more sense to do this rather than being in a position, excuse me, well, where you're putting that down on a mortgage. Pay off a little bit of this debt, pay the rest towards the mortgage. Now you're in a more comfortable spot on a monthly payment, not having those extra debts hang over your head. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a budget planner or a Dave Ramsey affiliate or anything like that. When it comes to planning your finances, I understand it. I'm very knowledgeable in it, and I can point you in a direction as to what it is that I and my wife have done when it comes to our purchasing of a home. But I can also refer people out. There's several financial planners, and there's several budget specific financial planners that I work with, who can really help guide you when it comes to your best next step when it comes to this. So if that's a question that you might have, or if you just want to pick their brain even prior to getting pre-approved, I'd be happy to refer that out to you. Go ahead and reach out to me, and I will get that over to you guys. But the next step, so the first step is you're going to get pre-approved. The second step is you're going to go in and you're going to be looking at any debts that might exist. And if it might actually make more sense to rent for a shorter period of time, pay off all your debts, and then be in a position to purchase. Look at this in a holistic approach. I don't want to just sell you a home. I want to put you in a position where I'm selling you a home and you're financially able to keep that home, is the heart and the goal behind it. So those are the first two steps. The third and final steps, third and final step, I believe, is probably the most difficult one. And that is to actually follow through. I was talking to a couple recently who they're thinking about purchasing a second home. They currently own a home. It's a nice home. It's a 3-bedroom house. It's really nice. It's a beautiful house. But they want to have a second home as a means of being able to have a kind of like a lake house, like a cottage getaway. And that's really good. That's an amazing goal to have. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is a lot of times when people are wanting to purchase a home, whether that's a first home, second home, third home, the problem that they run into is they're not willing to sacrifice in the short in order to have gain in the long. They're super focused on what it is that's happening this weekend. They're super focused on, what kind of vacation is coming up, what it is that they're capable of purchasing, because their finances dictate that they're capable of doing that, even though it might not be comfortable. And they go out and they get new new cars, and buy expensive clothing, and go out on vacations, extravagant or not, but they spend this extra income when it's money that could be thrown in their account, and it could be put aside as a means of being able to purchase this home. Now, there's nothing wrong with vacations. There's nothing wrong with fancy clothes. There's nothing wrong with a new car, or getting the fancy car that has 10 more upgrades than the base model. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. The big thing that I want to communicate in this point number 3, is how bad do you actually want this? It's okay to not want to buy a house. There's nothing wrong with that. It is all right. It's okay to want those more extravagant things and go on vacations more than you want to purchase a home. That is okay. But one of the things that's difficult in talking to people is how much lack of balance there exists between, hey, I really want to purchase a home, but I'm not willing to make the sacrifices and going out on a consistent every quarter I'm going on a vacation. I'm not willing to sacrifice a new car or go and get a used car that might last me a good 5 to 10 years. I don't want, it's more beneath me. I'm going to go with the used a brand new vehicle. So like that's the big thing that I've noticed. And so this is just a means of me bringing it up to you guys. There's nothing wrong with either one of these, but it comes down to what you want more. As your real estate agent, I can't want this more for you. I think that home ownership is absolutely amazing. It's great having your own home. It's great being able to build equity in that home. It's great being able to put money into it and know that the value of the property is increasing because you're putting money into it. It's really awesome. It's really great to be able to do that and be a part of it and being able to see people do that. But some people don't want that as much as they want the vacation, or as much as they want the new big screen TV, or as much as they want the go down the list of anything you might be thinking of. So it really comes down to these three things. The very first thing, even before going in this process, is realizing, hey, it's time. We need to do this. We need to move. Then you go through these three steps of pre-approval, going through and looking at your debts and realizing, hey, does it make more sense for us to pay debts off, or does it make more sense to buy a house right now? And either one of those is okay. And then the last one is actually following through and going at it crazily and saying, I'm going to do everything that I can to go out and I'm going to purchase a home. This is my goal. This is what I want to make happen. And I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to go the extra mile and do the hard things right now, knowing that I will have this goal accomplished in the next year, in the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever it might be, knowing that that's where I'm going. So hopefully this helped you. If you're out there and you're thinking about purchasing a home right now, feel free to reach out to us. Happy to sit down and go over any of this in person with you face to face that you might need it, as well as connect you with any of the contacts we have, whether that's on the financial planning side of things or on the mortgage side of things. Happy to get you over to a good qualified connection of ours over here at MacDon Associates in order to help assist you the best way that we know how to, and really setting you up for a good spot, not just with a home, but good in a financial situation as well. So thankful for you all. Thanks for tuning in today's episode of Tuesdays with Rory. Besides that, you guys have a blessed day. We'll see you.